Well, good evening, Royal We Live Chat, and happy, what day is today? Today is a holiday, Memorial Day. Is it not? Is today Memorial Day? I believe it is. Today, Labor Day. My bad. Labor Day. For all of you laborers out there, happy Labor Day to you, and welcome to Royal We Live Chat. Chevy Lynn, am I the only one? It looks like it's just you and me, Chevy Lynn. It's just you and me tonight. Oh, there's Tanya. Labor Day. Yes, it's Labor Day. So apparently 7 people. You're not the only one, Chevy Lynn. 7 are in the house tonight. Happy Labor Day, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. I'm excited to talk with you all. What I want to do is go ahead and put the telephone number up in case some of you don't already have it, so you guys can start to call in whenever you would like to call in. I'm going to put call in, and I'm going to put the number. Here we go. Okay. There's our call number. And I'll go ahead and put that in there right now. And I'm also going to pin it to the top. Did it work? I thought it would pin it to the top. I guess I don't have access to... There it is. All right. Well, how is everybody tonight? How is everybody on this fantastic Labor Day? Hopefully you enjoyed your day off. I didn't upload any videos today on the Royal We channel because I just figured people would be out doing stuff. So I didn't bother uploading a video. Tomorrow I will upload a new vlog. I'm enjoying doing the vlog style of videos, and the response seems to be pretty cool. People like the vlog style, so I'm going to do some vlog style. Depending on what happens tonight, I may upload a phone conversation if we have a good phone conversation or good topic to discuss tonight. And then also maybe perhaps tomorrow night I'll also upload just a discussion video. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, so anybody's welcome to call in, ask new questions. And yes, Tanya, it is a brand new phone number. I did change finally after 4.5 years of being in St. Louis, Missouri. I finally have changed my number to a Missouri phone number. Got rid of the California number. So I want to share with you all about tomorrow's video because I can use some prayer, I guess. I gave it a shot. And again, it's a vlog style video, so I'm just kind of going after it, talking about it. And I gave it a shot today, and I struggled. I struggled to get through it. My mind just wouldn't let me get the right things out. I don't know if I am nervous about this particular topic, or perhaps it was just it's an attack of the enemy. So I'm going to share with you what the topic is about, tomorrow's vlog, and I'm going to have to get it done in the morning. Not only that, but I'm dealing with some other issues right now with the website and this and that. So I'm going to share all of this in the vlog. By the way, the website, jointheroyalwe.com, for those of you who know people, or if you have tried to schedule one-on-one appointments, you'll know there's been an issue processing payments. It just hasn't been working. So I've had to do a lot of fixing on that end. I've spent a good part of the weekend and then today actually doing that. So what I'm going to be talking about is bullies. Bullies. I absolutely am making a vlog video about how I hate bullies and I hate bullying as a part of narcissistic abuse. Where do I want to go with this vlog that I'm talking about? So the direction of the vlog that I want to take on the bullying is how bullying is not something that is being dealt with properly. And it leads to not only bullying happening in public schools, and it also happens in the workplace, and it also happens in families, in homes. And these are key institutions in life: public school, workplace, and the home. These are all institutions. And bullying is to a point, and it has been for years, where people get seriously hurt. Not only do they get hurt, a lot of underaged kids and children, young adults, are deciding to take their own lives as a result of the bullying that they have to go through, for example, at school. This also happens as a result of being in families that are toxic and dysfunctional, and in the institution of the workplace. And I believe that the reason that we see people willing to take their own lives is not necessarily because of an incidence, if you will, of bullying. And this is what I'm talking about in the vlog, by the way. I'm sharing it with you ahead of time. We all experience a bully, right? We do. One or two bullies in our life. We all get beat up or whatever. And typically we move on. We try to figure out a way around it. We grow in some way as a result of it. I don't believe that one incident of a bullying is enough to cause someone to push someone over that edge. But I believe that a system that's failing somebody, an institution that's failing somebody, like example, a public school, that is not paying attention to particular kids being bullied on a regular basis. Well, now all of a sudden you have children who have no choice but to go to this institution for education, and they feel like they have no protection. And they go home and try to tell their parents. Parents don't do anything because the parents are like, well, we're working, so you got to go to school, figure out a way to do, tell your teacher, this and that. And it goes nowhere. And they're bullied every single day. The same is true in work environments. The same is true in home environments. And I believe that the reason bullying is going unnoticed and unpunished is because of the modern view of bullying. What I want to talk about is we don't hate bullying enough. Instead, we've developed a mindset of compassion towards bullies. And the compassion is based on this idea. It's an ideology that bullies somehow come from a background of horrible upbringing. Therefore, we need to have compassion towards that. There's absolutely zero data that suggests that bullies come from a bad background. I believe personally, my own belief is that bullying is a result of zero discipline. Bullies are raised in environments where they've never had a finger shooken at them. They've never been on timeout. They've never been disciplined, spanked, whatever the case may be. So they grow up in environments that teaches them that they can do whatever they want, say whatever they want, get away with anything. This is the mindset of bullying. They become arrogant. They become hostile and aggressive. They become liars. And they become evil because they're raised in such a way to where they experience no consequences for these things. So the goal behind the vlog is to rediscover a new way of looking at it. Instead of compassion, we need to develop a hatred towards bullying. By developing a hatred, we'll take a stance against these things when we see them. Arrogance, hostility, lying, particular types of lying, by the way, and evil. And I'm going to go into detail about what evil is. If we really hate bullying and we stand against it and we implement a hatred of bullying within institutions, then there'll be more of a zero tolerance of it. There'll be less of a compassion for bullies, which I believe just empowers bullies. Bullies not only bully, but now they're like, oh, I get compassion for bullying. That's right, poor me. They love the attention. That compassion can also turn into victimization. A lot of bullies start to develop the mentality of, well, I'm justified in bullying and hurting innocent people because I'm the victim in life. So I can see how this whole the idea of compassion towards bullying has really created even more bullying. So, any rate, that's what the vlog is going to be about tomorrow. And I'm doing other scenes throughout the day. I'm going to be sharing some stuff throughout my life, what I'm going through with the website and stuff as well on that vlog. But as I was trying to piece together talking about bullies, and I was just trying to pre-record how I'm going to go about this, I was getting hung up. And so this is where I want to ask for your hair. I would like to ask you for your hair, if you don't mind. No, I'd like to ask you for your prayer. That whatever is binding my thoughts about talking about bullies, perhaps if there's a fear, perhaps if there's a discomfort in my life of talking about bullying, and understand this, that you, myself, when we deal with narcissistic abuse, it is bullies. We've been dealing with bullies. So maybe deep down in my subconscious mind, I feel like I'm not able to talk about bullying. Whatever the case may be, I feel like there's some barriers, there's some walls that I'm going to hit. I hit in my practicing today and trying to pre-record and practice some of the things I'm going to say, I just kept having mind blanks, and I would fumble in my words, and I would tell myself, Kevin, you know this, you feel this, you believe this, just get it out. But I would just get jumbled. And I'm not sure what that means. So I would like just to, bring that to you, the Royal We family. Lift me up in prayer over that I will tomorrow when I start the vlog, because vlogs are very particular. It's not like I'm sitting down and I'm doing take after take after take. A blog is just kind of a fast-paced, I need to get it out and move on to the next thing so I can show what's going on. So I feel like I've just got to be on it. And so maybe that's part of the pressure too. I don't know. Yeah. Jessica. Yeah. Jessica, you just blessed my heart, girl. Wow. Can I pin you, Jessica? Could I? Oh, man, I want to pin that. Jessica Paterick, amazing. You're a blessing. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for blessing my night, for making me feel better. Yeah, you're better off being jumbled than silent. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate that. I think that I'm going to have that mindset. What you just said, Mark, I think I'm going to have that mindset tomorrow as I'm vlogging. I'm just going to open my mouth and I'm going to speak from the heart, which is what I try to do with all my work. And even if it sounds jumbled, it's better than being silent. There is, it's weird that there is a fear. There's, like I said, there's some kind of block with me talking about bullying, and I don't know. Kurt P says, aren't we all narcissistic to some degree? To that, I would say, Kurt P, yes. We are all narcissistic. But when we talk about narcissistic, just plain old narcissism, I mean, look, putting on makeup, lipstick for the ladies out there. They want to look nice. I guess that qualifies as narcissistic. Why? Because they want to look good. Men, why do we work out? Go to the gym. Want to get big. Want to get strong. Why, blah, blah, blah. There's narcissism in all of that. There's wanting us to put our best foot forward, our best face forward, look our best, sound our best, be smart, be our best. This is all narcissism. But that being said, trying to answer the question here, Kurt P, we're not talking about narcissism. The Royal We and other channels like the Royal We are here talking about narcissistic abuse. So really, we're taking narcissism and we're adding on to it the abusive element. People who are abusive, right? So we're not just talking about narcissism like, I want to look good. I want to look good. I want to feel good. I want to put makeup on. We're talking about narcissistic abuse, which is I'm so desperate to look good that I need to put somebody else down. I need to premeditatively attack somebody. I need to pre-think a way to get somebody. And we're getting into bullying, which is going to be tomorrow's vlog. So things like arrogant. Arrogance is a common thing of narcissistic abuse. Arrogance and being proud are separate things. And I'm going to talk about this in the vlog. We can be proud. I'm proud of the Royal We. I am proud of this community. Now, is being proud arrogant? No. I genuinely am proud of this community. I'm proud of where we're going. I'm proud of the healing progress. That's not arrogant. Arrogant is putting somebody else down in order to stay above. So with narcissistically abusive people, it's typical they'll walk around to somebody and they'll say, you're an idiot. You're stupid. The way you dress is dumb. You look dumb. Look at you. You're ugly. This is what we refer to as arrogance, as in order for them to sit on their seat, they have to push somebody down. That's arrogance, okay? So that's part of the abuse, narcissistic abuse, right? Where being proud might be narcissistic, being arrogant is narcissistic abuse. Do you see the difference? Hostility, unprovoked hostility and aggression, fighting with people for no reason except they don't like the way they look or whatever. Again, bullying tactics of this type of hostility and aggression. That gets into the territory of narcissistic abuse. It's that I need to fight somebody in order to feel better. So, Kurt, I know I'm giving you a lot of talk here, but at the end of the day, what I'm trying to tell you is that, yes, narcissism is in all of us to an extent, but narcissistic abuse is not in all of us. Okay? Not all of us wake up wondering who we can hurt. Make no mistake about it, there are narcissistically abusive people that are doing just that. They are literally planning and scheming how they can hurt their partner from the get-go, from the beginning of the day. Their desire is to start to punish somebody who they say they love. This is narcissistic abuse, and this is what we're talking against. This is what our fight is against. This is what we're going no contact with. It doesn't matter if it's your mama, your daddy, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your teacher, your auntie, your uncle. If they are abusive, you got to say goodbye. It's not worth it. All right. So, do we have any callers? Rye Shines, thank you. Rye, thank you for your blessing. Thank you for your donation, Rye. I just now saw that. I'm sorry. I was in this zone where I was just flapping my lips, and I didn't even see that. But thank you. You blessed me tonight. I greatly appreciate that. That's huge, 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 huge. So, would anybody like to call in tonight? You want me to continue on talking about, I don't want to give away all of tomorrow's vlog, but basically I'm going to talk about the bullying. I'm going to talk about the 4 characteristics of bullies and why I believe it's justification to hate bullying. And I believe that we need to develop a hatred of bullying if we're going to see bullying change. We got to ditch the compassion. Oh, just be compassionate. Bullies need compassion. No, they don't. I think the days of giving bullies compassion are over. It's time to start implementing discipline. It's time that we start yanking the bullies out of school. Where do they go? Who cares? Because there are kids in school who want to learn. The bullies that are there that want to fight, I don't know, ship them off to MMA school. You know what I mean? Nowadays, there's MMA. Dana White. Send them all to Dana White. Dana White, make a school for kids that want to fight. And we will ship all the bullies to you, and you can train them up. You know, seriously, one of the things I think that a lot of these aggressive, listen, don't get me wrong. I don't think there's no use for aggressive bullies. I think they are very useful in this life. Ship them all to boot camp, for crying out loud. Seriously, if these bullies, if these kids, if they like hostility, if they like to see aggression, sign them up for war. Let them go to the front lines where they can see what real conflict is about. And then they can exercise their bullying tactics out there on the battlefield. And everybody wins. They're fighting for our freedom. We're happy. They even get to be heroes out of it. So it's not that I think that bullies don't have a place. Aggression doesn't have a place. But it doesn't have a place in our core institutions like public school, the family. And I think that a lot of these bullies, because it's not a result of a rough upbringing, it's their inherent nature. Ship them off, ship them overseas, ship them back, ship them to Afghanistan. Let them do a tour. Let them do a tour in Afghanistan. Who knows? Maybe they'll change their mind and they'll decide they don't want to be bullies after all because they're watching people get their legs blown off and they're seeing what real hostility looks like, as opposed to them just pretending and punching kids in the classroom, right? Let them go punch somebody wearing a different color in a nation that doesn't care about them. Let them go punch one of those people. See what happens, right? I think bullies are just misguided. They just, really, they're aggressive. Good. Use that aggression elsewhere. Who just tried to call in? Try and call in again. I see it. I see it. Ah! Ah! All right, I'm going to call you back. Here we go.
Hello.
Hi, you're live on the Royal We.
Oh my goodness. Hi. Yeah, I tried to call, but no answer. Call from.
Are you there? Are you
I'm
there?
going through that right now. I am. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
I
Sorry,
am.
sorry to the other caller. Just hung up on you on accident there. We'll call you after this phone call. Well, thank you so much for calling in. Where are you calling from?
Arizona?
Arizona. All right. Well, Arizona's in the house. What's going on?
Well, you were talking about the bullying and how it relates to narcissism and
Yeah.
can lead to suicide by those that are victims of it and can't get out from under it.
Yes.
And what's prevalent that I've witnessed in my own life and then also growing up is there's an element of isolation. Trying to get that person away from their family or anyone that could help them if there was a problem. And I've
Yes.
seen it in my own family. I see it, that's going on with my daughter now and the man that she's been involved with. And it's just kind of a repeat situation. But with my personal situation when I was a child, my father was very, very narcissistic, very legalistic. And my mother ended up taking her own life about 10 weeks before I graduated from high school. It left a mark, a huge, huge mark.
Wait, say that again.
And
Say that one more time. What happened?
my mother took her life.
Your mother took her own life?
My mother, yes. Because of the abuse that she encountered. And,
right.
there was four children, and I was the youngest, and we all saw what was going on, and we all disliked my father. I mean, it was to the point where if he came home from work and you weren't doing something like cleaning or yard work or something, I mean, he would walk over to the television and see if it was hot, see if we were watching television, like enjoying ourselves or something. But, it was rough growing up. And she ended up taking her life. And it's definitely had an effect. And I think it had an effect not only obviously it had an effect on me, but I think it had an effect on all my choices going forward.
Of course.
Let
me ask you this very important question, since we're on the topic of bullying. As a result of what you've seen growing up from your dad being a bully, tormenting your mother, tormenting you children, did you ever have a desire to bully other people yourself?
I think I'm probably more outspoken than I should be in some situations because, we're supposed to speak truth, but we're supposed to do it in love. And
right.
I don't think I have the second piece of that very down pat. I can definitely speak truth, and I look for truth, whatever it is. And I encountered the same sort of situation in my own marriage. I've been divorced now 10 years, but I basically repeated what my mom did as far as her choices. I obviously am speaking to you, so I haven't taken my life.
Right.
But I definitely followed the pattern of choosing someone like that. And, and speaking truth in that situation, I wasn't very kind. I was, this is what's going on. And, I the whole smear campaign happened. And so now I'm with no one. I'm not even my children, no one. But it was it was a setup. I mean, it was a bad situation, horrible situation.
Right.
And now I'm, there was just things that were done under the radar that the kids didn't see, and I reacted, and all they saw was my reaction. They didn't know what was going on. They didn't know that I had just been lied to, or that, he had been over to his ex-wife's house. They didn't know all of that. All they saw was my reaction.
Right.
So, unfortunately, it is what it is, and I am better off because I am away from that situation. Holidays are a bit lonely, but I don't have to go somewhere where I was tolerated. I wasn't welcomed. I was tolerated.
Right. Right.
It was horrible. It was
Yeah.
a horrible situation.
Yeah. Yeah. It is. It is. It
But
absolutely is.
but when you're talking about bullying, I mean that ultimately does. I mean, and it's not just one time; it's over and over. It's a lifestyle that you end up cowering under, and that's exactly what happened to my mother. And she just finally couldn't take it.
Yeah. And that's what,
And I don't think
right. No, that's what I wanted to talk about. A big part of the vlog that I'm going to talk about bullying is the failure of the disciplinary action of bullying, whether it's in a family or a school or workplace, that can drive somebody to the point of wanting to end their own life. Why? Because they feel stuck. They feel trapped. They feel
right.
like they have nowhere to go. Nobody's listening. Nobody's paying attention. So it's really a failure of society to step in and help out. It's a failure of the church to tell a wife and a woman, look, what you're going through is abuse. It's bullying, and there's ways out. It's a failure of school faculty telling students, if you're being bullied, if somebody is pushing you, if somebody is following you, you report it, and we'll deal with that person immediately, even if it means kicking them out of school for a week. And same thing in the workplace, at jobs. But they need to, in order to pull this off, they need to develop a hatred of bullying instead of a compassion for bullying.
Right, and I think, I've even experienced that in the workplace, where I've had a supervisor just be, completely out of line. And, it's scary to go to HR because HR is not there necessarily for the employees. They're there for the legal part of, the company.
Right.
And, it's very, very obvious. So, there's repercussions when you do and say something. And I think in most cases when it's a personal relationship, the idea for that narcissist or that, bully, whatever you want to refer to them as, their number one thing is to get you isolated.
Yeah.
That is their number one, and I see it as a repeat pattern in my life and what I saw with what my dad did. We're from Michigan, and he took us and the 4 kids, my mom and the 4 kids, to Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
And so she had no one. She had no family around. She had no one.
Right.
Outside of the friends that she made when she got here. But, she didn't have her base. And he got her away from everyone. Yeah. And I noticed, that my husband did the same thing. And I see my daughter's husband, he's doing the same thing.
Right.
Get her away from all of her family. So I see it as a repeat. And I think that must be like the number one thing that in a personal relationship anyway. I know the bullies on the schoolyard,
it's an interesting,
they're doing it to show off.
It's an interesting dynamic though. When you talk about your dad taking your mom away from her family, also your husband taking you possibly away from the family, the abusive nature needs to be seen and found in and around that. We can't look at just the act of moving and isolation as, in other words, the decision needs to be made. The red flags need to be seen before that. And the reason I say this is because, especially in marriage, oftentimes marriage is, in fact, about leaving the mother and the father and becoming united as a new family. Do you follow me on that? So this is an area. Yeah. So this is an area where, like, I see what you're saying. Like, there's isolation. But I believe that the isolation isn't just a result of moving, because there's ways that people can still communicate, unless there's direct interference with the other forms of communication, in which case that is abusive.
Right. It's suggestive. It's very suggestive. I agree with you as far as marriage definitely being a situation where you need to come together as one. And, the whole family can't be at your house every night. I understand all of that, and I get how that works or should work. But when, in both situations that I see from not only my father, but, my husband and my daughter, what she's going through, it's very suggestive.
Right.
Your family's probably not going to want to come over because they're not going to like the way I discipline your children, or you really need to not talk to your mom.
Exactly. And you got to watch out for that stuff. You got to watch out for that stuff, because Because that's a dicey territory, you know? I mean, because there's a
Yeah.
lot of times where families and grandpa won't like the way you discipline and this and that, and you gotta
Mhm.
be able to say, well, it's not your decision, you know? So it's a tough one. That's a tough one. But I do see where you're coming from. There is isolation, but I think we need to get to a place to where we don't allow that isolation to occur. You know, it's really the burden is on us to not be
Yeah, it is.
isolated,
And
to not be
I think
isolated.
that, yeah, and I think I came out of all of this, and I don't know that I'm on the other side. I'm still a work in progress, but
Right.
I think I've come out of all of this a little bit stronger, only to realize my piece in it. You know what I allowed,
Exactly.
and
Exactly.
I mean
Yes.
that's like
Yes.
swallowing a bucket of nails, really,
Yeah.
because ultimately it is on me. Ultimately, because of what I allowed. You know,
Right.
my reactions. You know, were probably more destructive than they. You know, but when you're in the moment and you're realizing what's happening and what's going on, and you're trying to explain yourself to your kids or to your husband, and they're looking at you like you got 10 heads,
Yeah.
and they have no idea of the background, and it's really not worth certainly not explaining to your children.
Right.
But it's just far beyond that. So I think really what I came out of all of this, and it took me a lifetime to figure it out, is ultimately it's my fault. Ultimately, I did. I allowed
Listen,
it.
we're all here because of what you just said. Not Listen, it's not our fault that narcissistically abusive people are the way they are. It's our fault that we stayed tangled in it longer than we should have. That is our fault.
Right.
So you're right.
Right.
Again, narcissistic abuse, any types of abuse, typically is a result of being with people you have no business being with, doing things you have no business doing, going places you have no business going. What's unfortunate
Yeah.
about narcissistically abusive relationships is the narcissists tend to get this faster than we do. So narcissists are like, again, abusive people. We don't really belong together. This is dumb. They get that.
Abusive and clever.
Abusive people do that. We don't belong together. And so they start existing and living together while being abusive. Empathic people, some people also call it codependent, whatever the case may be, tend to be like, no, I'm going to fight for this relationship, whatever it takes. And
Yeah.
that's the mistake. We should
Yeah.
never fight for a relationship no matter what it takes. Where did we get that idea from? It is stupid. When a person has checked out of a relationship, it's over. Why fight?
So true.
Why fight?
So true.
Let them go. Their abuse. The other thing is that we don't look at abusive bullying tactics as people really not caring about us, and we need to, because that's exactly what it is. When a narcissistic individual is bullying you, attacking you, doesn't matter if it's a husband, wife, whomever, lying, cheating, all this stuff, they've checked out. They've betrayed the relationship, the marriage. They don't care anymore. We need to stop thinking, oh, that's really not that person. No, it is that person. They've checked out. And so now it's time to take decisive action sooner rather than later. But oftentimes we don't take decisive action.
Right.
We stay in
Yeah,
it.
and I didn't.
Yeah.
I stayed too long.
Stay in it, hoping things will change. It never does. Right?
Yeah, and and I'm 10 years down the road, and I'm still working on me. I'm still, and trust is huge, huge. Now I'm just, I don't. Well, these days, with with all that's going on with our government, I mean, who do you trust?
Right.
Who do you trust?
Yeah. Nobody.
It's just crazy.
Yeah, it is.
Right.
Yeah, it is. Well, thank you so
God,
much
I
for.
guess.
Yeah.
Just
Well,
trust
that's
God.
it.
Yes, and thank you for taking my call.
You're welcome. Thanks for calling in. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Bye. All right. That was an excellent call. Thank you so much again. Thank you so much again for calling in and for sharing. We had another call as well. I'll go ahead. We had a couple of calls, it looked like. Go ahead and call them back. See how we're doing tonight.
Call from.
Bar Cubs.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2. To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
I'm trying. There we go. Hello,
Hello,
you're
Kevin?
live. You're live on the What Are We? How are you?
Yeah, that was really good insight. Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay, perfect. Okay. Yeah, I just wanted to share a weird experience about bullies, from back in high school. I go down the hallway, and out of the blue, some kid comes running up behind me and hits me right in the back. And I turn around, and I see him running away. And this happens like every other day, and
Same kid?
I never knew this kid.
The same kid?
The same kid, and I never seen him, never had any problems with him, and never had to say any words to him at all. I mean, but for some odd reason, he just comes and hits me in the back and runs away.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So finally, I just got so fed up with it, and then I told the teacher about what's going on, that it happens at this particular time at a certain place at a certain time before a class starts. And he's like, "Oh, okay." And then he said, "Okay, if it happens again," and I even told him to look my direction, just in case he comes up again. And he did back me up this time. He did say, "Oh, okay, if it happens again, just let me know, and I'll talk to this kid and see how you straighten it out." And so, and after that, I think the kid knew I was talking to the teacher, and then he never attacked me again since then. So,
well, that
was
worked.
kind of a weird experience.
That is weird.
Yeah.
I think that obviously you just showing that, hey, I'm going to tell the teacher's going to have their eye out, and it sounds, like back then there was a little bit more rules enforced. And the fact that you even had a teacher say, okay, I'll keep an eye out for it. And chances are, who knows, maybe you're not aware of it, but maybe that teacher or whoever you told did pull that kid aside and say, hey, I'm watching you. And, I've got my eyes on you. If I see this, you're going down, right? But I just think
Yeah.
And so when I was younger too, when I was in elementary school, bullying was not what it is today either. Yes, there was bullies. Yes, there was people who wanted to fight with you and get hostile, but it was always meet me after school and this and that. And the reason was because there was less tolerance. The school is an institution. The teachers were looking out for that type of stuff in elementary school and junior high and in high school. We had proctors. They were looking for fights. They were looking for these bullies, and they would stop them. They'd catch them. They'd expel them. Today, I don't think that's happening enough. I think now it's a little less than a slap on the wrist for somebody who's acting like a bully. You can watch video after video on YouTube of classrooms today that are in complete chaos of kids throwing stuff, jumping out of their desks, going over and beating another kid in another desk, and then jumping back into their desks. And they're acting as though there is no fear because there is no discipline, because the teachers, the staff, the faculty, the institution of today's schools does absolutely zero about bullying. So bullies have nothing to fear. So where in your situation, that bully that kept hitting you, he got afraid of something. Today, I wish we would bring that back. I wish we'd just bring that zero tolerance back. And I think that it comes from beginning to just hate bullying. We have to get to a place where we hate bullying. We just hate it. Hate bullies, hate bullying, whatever. We got to stop looking at it as a compassion project. Let's have compassion on them. No. Compassion on bullies, compassion on narcissistically abusive people fails. Doesn't work. It just doesn't work.
Yeah, it really doesn't, because it's great that you mentioned that, because I keep getting the same story like, oh yeah, that bully, he had a bad home background, whatever. I mean, I dealt with bullies, and I'm the expert on that, okay, and the bullies almost fit the same profile. I mean, they're spoiled.
They are.
I mean, they're spoiled because of lack of discipline.
Lack of discipline. They don't have fingers shook at them.
Yeah, I've been bullied in junior high by this one kid. I still remember his face and name, and his parents were rich, and his parents hardly ever Well, probably either never pay attention to them at all, or probably gave them more attention than due, or whatever.
Yeah.
Spoiled them.
Yep. 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 That's it.
Yeah, it's just that lack of structure, that lack of fear, and lack of consequences for that kind of behavior, and how the church kind of portrays, oh, God is all about love, love, love. You gotta love the bully,
No.
That's nonsense.
Nonsense.
That is a sick lie.
And the fear of disciplining bullies is really, really weird too. Oh, we can't. We can't. It's the whole thing of, even though somebody hits you, don't hit them back. You're the one that's going to be in trouble for hitting back. Why? Why? Don't punish the bullies. That's wrong. Why? That's exactly what allows them to keep bullying. It makes zero sense. It really does. So we got to get back to a place of zero tolerance. As one trans just said, zero tolerance for bullies. I think it's going to come when when people really start to hate bullying.
Yeah.
When we hate bullying, then we'll start to do something about it. We'll start to use our voices. We'll start to tell the people we need to tell. And it starts with parenting. Now, I'm a parent. I have kids. The first sign of bullying from my kids, I get involved. I'm not going to be one of those parents that says, oh, well, go deal with it. When I was younger, I had bullies too. No, like you and I just talked about. Like you and I just talked about, bullying when we were younger was different because faculty was more involved. Today, they're not. So today, for parents to say, well, go to school and deal with it, and you'll be okay, and be nice to them. No, this is what, again, creates in kids that fear that they have no one to talk to, no one to help them. So as a parent, I believe that part of children feeling like they have nowhere to go and maybe thinking about ending their lives and this and that is because of that. I think it's a parent's responsibility to get to the school and put a foot up someone's ass, if it's the proctor, the principal, or the teacher, and saying, look,
you know what, that's what I'm going to do if I ever hear a story from my son about him being bullied at school. I mean, I'm going to be like, you know what, I'll take the day off. My boss can be mad, whatever. I don't care. I'm going to step up and have some balls in that school and lay down my foot, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I've been bullied. I've been in my son's place before.
Yeah. That's it. So that being said, thank you for calling.
Our society is so damn soft.
It is. And
hey, let me close by saying I'm an usher at church, and you know what? I have this old man always kind of giving me dirty looks, during the service when I'm just ushering, and I'm like, what the hell is that all about? I never did anything to him, and he's just giving me dirty looks. I'm like, what the hell? Yep.
It's everywhere. But then again, I wouldn't worry too much about it. If it's an old man, it could just be his face. He could just have one of them grumpy looking faces, right? Who knows?
I don't know, Kevin.
It looks pretty intentional. I've seen some elderly people giving me some pretty crazy stares too, and sometimes I say that maybe that's just their face. Maybe that's just the way their eyebrows are falling over their eyes. I don't know. All right, thanks for calling. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Kevin. See you later.
Bye. All right, and I know we had another call. Let me see if I can get back in there. Oh, maybe not. Let's see. Who did we call?
Call from.
Hey.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Hello?
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Oh, gosh, I'm trying. Hang on. Doggone it. Sometimes this thing, I'm telling you, it is so difficult to use. Whoever just called. Whoever just called, you're welcome to try and call back. You're welcome to try and call back. Sorry about that. I can't call you. I don't have long distance on this particular number. So if it's in Canada, it's not going to go through. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. But you're welcome to contact me. Anybody that would like to call in, the telephone number is at the top of the chat. You're welcome to call in. Chevy Lynn says, I'm calling the school this week about that. Physical fighting means kids involved go to principals. Not every student should be punished. That's true. That's true.
Call from
Gord.
You're live on the Royal We.
Hey, how are you, Kevin?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good, good. I'm sorry there. I tried to call a couple of times. I wanted to say, first of all, appreciate you doing this platform here. I think it's necessary for a lot of people,
Thank you.
victims of narcissistic abuse anyway. I just wanted to make a comment about your first caller there. I forget her name, but I relate considerably to a lot of things that she was saying, right from the feeling in the back of the TV and that type of home environment. There's just a couple of things
that is wild. That is really wild.
I thought it was a couple of things maybe incorrect. Like, I think I just want to say that she's on the right path as far as I'm concerned. Right. But she's talking about isolation, which is a tactic, right? It's a generational taught tactic. And I know this from my own family. And I think that's what she's discovered. Right. And, recognizing that, obviously, like she was saying, it's partly her fault, but I think that's incorrect. If she's not the manipulator, then it's not her fault. But, she's recognizing it as a dysfunctional part of the family. And unfortunately, right, that's narcissistic mentality. And depending on whatever traits they have,
right,
she has empathy. And that's why she recognizes it and she doesn't know what to do about it. And, it is what it is, but it's not a new thing. She's not alone, right?
Right.
Same with like she's talking about her father more on my mother's side, but I'm a child of parental alienation. So I always thought my dad was a bad guy, and he had his flaws, mind you, but really the manipulator was my mother.
The mother.
Which I didn't realize till late in life after a death in the family and everybody's running around looking for the will, right? And that's when the stories start coming out and you start seeing who's who. So I think a lot of us need a platform like this because just the structure of divorce and, in my situation, I'm trying to, think about how it could have been different. But I was so angry for the wrong reasons at my father that in a divorce, I would have been his worst enemy. So, and I'm trying to think what a lawyer could have done or who could have stepped in. But as you say, in the schools, I exhibited all the signs of abuse, and it's not new literature, and nobody did anything. And in my case,
what do you mean you did? What do you mean you displayed the signs of abuse? What did
lashing out, the antisocial signs, you know what I mean? Like not, I'm causing trouble, low grades, but at the same time, I'm intelligent. And I had a lot of anger management problems early on, but I was an achiever as well. Like I worked full time during high school, and I was a kitchen manager when I was 16, where most people weren't even, they might have had a paper route or, so to speak. So I'm 50 now, so I'm talking, 70s, early 80s with my high school bullies. But my thing with my mother is what I noticed later on in life is my mother was friends with all the mothers of the high school bullies, and they weren't my friends, but they kind of were at times. You know what I mean? It seemed like a situation I couldn't get out of, and I realized that was part of her tactics. She used my peers to get information. She knew what I was doing,
On
what I
you.
was thinking about,
On you.
on
right?
me,
Wow.
on me. So what turns out in the end
Very
is
covert.
my mother's my bully, and I think a lot of people are going through this where they don't realize that their parent is their bully.
Oh yeah.
And then they wonder why they're attracted to the same people. It's like, because boys and mothers are girls and fathers, right? And they go for the same type of person. So if your mother's a bully, right, and all my women that I've dated have the same domineering traits, but I don't put up with it for long. So I find myself alone, but I'm like, why? I'm such an easygoing guy, but I seem to be with women that play games with me. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. But after you educate yourself, right? You educate yourself and you realize that there's a science to the madness, and that narcissistic personality is the way another person thinks. And
that's right. It's how they operate.
It's not you.
Right.
That's how they operate. So you can't get off. Most people sit there and stew, I think, and it's like, how do I get revenge? But that's where the turning the other cheek does come in, because
you can't get revenge because you'd have to operate like them, and you can't.
Yeah, if you want to be a fighter, you got to enjoy beating somebody up, right?
Exactly.
Like, you got to like it.
Exactly.
And if you don't like hurting somebody else, then go on to another occupation. So
exactly.
I've already gone through that frustration of wanting revenge, and everybody who I lend you money, you don't pay me back, and I'm the asshole.
And what you said is the fault that we have typically in these relationships, and it's exactly that. Because what happens is we sometimes stay in these relationships thinking that what we're going to do is we're going to bluff. I really don't want to see somebody hurt, because that's not who I am. I'm not somebody who wants to see somebody hurt, but I want to teach this person a lesson so they'll change. Well, so now we're playing games with them, trying to change a rock into a stream of water. And so this is where we have to realize, okay, this is now my fault. This person I'm dealing with is crazy, psychotic, covert, narcissistic,
whatever. There you go.
And that's when we have to make the decision, I'm out, which is a very difficult decision to make, but that's a defining moment. It's unfortunate that most people take too long to make that decision, or decide not to for one reason or another. And that's unfortunate, but that's why this platform exists.
People don't realize they have balls, right? Like I didn't know I did either. Like, everybody, it's because it's love that's used against you. The people that hurt me are the people that I want to love. That's why I want to change them. But they don't want to change. And I'm tailor made for them, right? Because they're looking for somebody to abuse. But now that I recognize that, it's easy. It's like, bye-bye. And
exactly.
That's it.
Exactly.
And that's what you got to do. And once it's bye-bye, it's amazing how much the rest of your life starts to change, because you open the doors for the type of people that should be in your life.
Right.
And when you say
and when you say bye, here's another interesting thing too. When you say bye to certain narcissistic or bullying people, and it's an unfortunate reality, but even your relationship with the narcissistic people changes. There's an element of respect there, but this is a dicey area, because it will never turn into the relationship that you hoped for, you believe that can be, or anything like that. It's a relationship it's a relationship that they now know that you don't tolerate them, and you don't tolerate them anymore. And so it's very much a surface level, shallow, hi, bye, how you doing? Oh, good. Okay, see ya. Relationship, if and when you ever see these people. And what you'll notice, and here's the saddest thing about these types of personalities, is they actually get along in this world with people better with those types of relationships. You'll find that narcissistic people and bully people, a lot of times these bullies, it seems like they have great, deep friendships. None of them ever do. Their relationships are very shallow. They get along best surface level, and it seems deep, but it's all surface level. And so if you get to that place where you're so distant from them, they have no personal information, it's just, you're fine. You're better off.
Well, you got.
It's a battle
it's
getting
like,
to that point, though. It's a battle getting to that point.
Well, it is. It's like the first caller said. Like she used the word base, right? Like when you realize that your whole base is tainted.
Yes.
It's pretty difficult midlife to go, hey, geez, I got to start all over again. And I wish if I had to just change this couple of things early on, then none of this would have happened. But you got to start thinking about yourself and stop thinking about your family dynamic and what everybody else wanted and thought of you. And you start, hey, what did I want to do when I was a child? And
yes.
And start. That's what I'm doing. I'm doing it for me. And it's not selfish. I'm just, I'm the same person I was, but I'm not lending money. I need my own money.
It's about knowing your value.
To help out the next guy.
Yes.
Well,
about knowing your own value.
Where you put yourself out, right? And you got to stop doing that. So, and it's not selfish to stop it. It's imperative to your own mental health.
You have to. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for calling in. I appreciate that.
Hey, thanks for taking the call.
All righty. Have a good night.
Bye-bye.
All right. I know my battery's low here. We'll see if I could take one more telephone call here. Did I get another call? I thought I did. Was somebody else trying to call in? I thought somebody else was trying to call in. I'm not sure. Whoever tried calling in, if you'd like to call in right now. We'll take you as the last telephone call before we wrap it up tonight. If not, then everybody have a fantastic evening tonight. Thank you all for being here live on the Royal We Monday night live chat. We'll be back here next Monday night. I'm still contemplating doing a Wednesday night live chat. Thinking about it. So we will see. We will see if we could do a Wednesday night. With that, everybody, have a blessed week. Have a blessed week. And we will see you all next Monday night. Saturday morning is Royal We Fellowship, 9 o'clock a.m. Central Standard Time. And then tomorrow on the Royal We channel, I will have a new vlog uploaded talking about bullying. Hopefully, hopefully I've gotten some ideas from tonight's live stream as well. I can throw in there as well. And so look for that video. And there'll be more videos this week on the Royal We. So thank you so much for being here. I'm glad to have you all here, part of my healing journey, as I'm a part of yours. And we'll be back next Monday night, 9 o'clock p.m. Central Time. All right, have a great night, everybody.